Welcome everyone, good morning. Welcome back if you've been here before, welcome if you're new. My name is Stephanie, this is Stephanie Builds Wealth, and on this channel I am documenting my journey, my experience as a first generation American, learning about financial literacy, understanding financial hacks, and the money psychology behind why we do what we do. So if that sounds like something that's up your alley, please like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm. And today is going to be a bit of a short video. I do have to go visit my mom and dad and check on them. It is Sunday when I typically film these, and I typically go take care of them Sunday mid-morning. So what I'm going to share with you today is I have updated my debt tracker. And I'm very excited to share this with you. I was really waiting until everything was finalized, so that's why this took a little longer to get out. Because as you know, when it comes to finances and money, you never want to count your chickens before they hatch. God knows you've done that before, and it tends to bite you in the butt more often than it doesn't. So now that everything's finalized, I can actually share this with you, and I've restructured the debt tracker, and I have come up with a whole different game plan now that my financial health has changed quite a bit since the beginning of this year. And can you believe that we are at the almost end point of August? There's 2 weeks left and we're going into September, and then it's going to be the new year. Let's just take a moment to appreciate how quickly a year goes by. Right? At the beginning of the year, remember I told you that I realized, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to get a whole new job, a new income. None of this is going to work. And here we are, 8.5 months later, in a whole different world. Just time flies, right? I'm going to share with you how I've restructured my debts and my plan of attack for these, okay? I have restructured them from high interest debt, which is anything 7% and above, which is typically credit cards or, not the greatest loan terms because of your credit, your debt to income ratio, or, your payment history. My payment history is amazing because I can't afford to not miss payments, but I do have a very high debt to income ratio. Even with my new position and my new salary, currently I'm still in the middle of the mess, right? So I don't have the most favorable terms for the loans, but that's okay. Second category is going to be low interest debts, which is anything that's 7% and below. And then I have this 0% / temp category, which are debts that have no interest for a period of time, okay? And originally, what my plan was with my new salary and the knowledge I have now was that I was going to attack all the high interest debt first, then the low interest, then the 0% interest. However, I forgot when I was transferring my numbers over at the beginning of August, I did not put the deadlines for when the 0% interest ran out. And when I was looking at my numbers last week when I was paying things off, I realized, oh, that's not going to work exactly because I have a few things with deadlines that are coming up pretty quick. So last month or beginning of this month, I had a 0% interest credit card that I put medical expenses from 2022 on, and it was set to expire August 5th. I believe, August 5th of this year. And when I realized that, I said, okay, let me hold off paying off my Apple credit card. I'm going to go ahead and knock out it was a BMO credit card. So let me knock out that card first, put all my resources into paying that off, and then we'll pick back up again and go high, low to zero. And then I realized last week, okay, well, that's not going to work either because I'm noticing that as we are 2 weeks left into August, I have the Discover 2 card. The interest term is coming to an end on the 7th of September. Well, that is problematic. So I decided, okay, we're going to have to hold off that again. And I'm gonna laser focus on paying off my Discover 2. I have just made an additional payment of $413 because I realized, oh, I'm running out of time to pay this off. I already had the first check from August. I have one last one in August, and then I have one at the beginning of September. So I have 3 chances here to make sure that I don't have to pay any back pay interest on the amount. So I used a little bit of the balance that I had left over, that $413, to bring it down to $2,000. And I still have a couple hundred left. I have about a $200 buffer in my checking account now until next payday for, unknown things. And it always tends to happen that when you're not in the best financial health, that's when situations arise. So I have about a $200 buffer, use that $413 off to pay off my Discover 2. And I have done the math. I will be able to pay this off by the first paycheck in September, which would be September 3rd, I believe. So I will be literally just days shy from hitting that number, just like I was with the BMO card. So that got me thinking, okay, there has to be a better way to dig myself out of this mountain of consumer debt more efficiently and quicker, so that I'm not in a reactionary phase and thinking, oh, I have days to pay off XYZ. I need to think of a strategy and just abandon all else, right? Well, that's where this new term I came in to discover. I heard about this a few months ago and I tried to listen to it, but it was so foreign to me. I just didn't even bother because I thought, okay, I'm going to have a whole new learning process. And currently I'm so tied up now with learning. I do not have the bandwidth to get my paralegal certificate, my contract management certificate, and learn about this whole new financial mindset. I can't. But as I've been able to pay things off, as I've been making way with my studies, I decided, okay, this is now the second time with Discover 2 that I have had to abandon my plans and go into reaction mode and have to last minute strategize how to pay things off while not hurting myself more financially with my cash flow, and then hurt myself more with my debt ratio and add more debt to my numbers. So then I came across this term called velocity banking, and hand to God, I honestly thought it was a bank called Velocity. I had no clue. I have spent the last month studying what the heck this means. And after this recent incident of having to be in, scramble mode to pay another thing off before a deadline, I decided all of last week, I'm going to make sure that I watch as many videos as I possibly can with visual aids I'm not great with math, so I need visual aids to see what the heck they're talking about. So I watched these velocity banking videos for an entire week last week, and it just clicked, and I finally get it. And so I was able to understand a better way to approach paying debt off and increasing your savings using this technique. It is not for everyone. I definitely recommend that you look it up on your own and really watch it as many times as you can from multiple different YouTubers to understand the concept, because you can explain the same concept in 10 different ways, and on that 10th way it finally clicks, which is what happened with me. The person that I was watching was Fantastic on YouTube. She teaches velocity banking. I finally figured out a whole new financial strategy, and I have done the numbers over and over and over and over and over again for the past week, and I have figured out what my cash inflow is and what my cash outflow is, as far as what items absolutely have to come out of my checking account. They cannot come out any other way. And whatever doesn't have to come out of my checking account, I have decided to use my Capital One credit card, since it has the highest interest, to piggy bank every month to pay things off at a quicker rate. And I've done the numbers and it works. So I have figured out that after everything that comes out of my checking account that has to be dedicated actual cash, I have $1,000 and some change left over from every paycheck. That's roughly about $2,000 and some change every single month that I can use as my debt snowball. So I have figured out that with this last paycheck in August, I'm going to pay, of the $2,000 balance with my last check in August, I'm going to put $1,000 towards Discover. And then in September 3rd, when I get paid again, I'm going to put the other $1,000 towards that to pay it off. And then that will be gone. And how I'm using this technique has made me really look at my debt payoff plan in a whole different way and my savings plan in a whole different way. I've modified the velocity banking for a credit card. There's two different ways you can do it. You can do it on a line of credit, which I think is usually a HELOC or something against your house. I would never in my life do that. I will never leverage my house against debt. That just seems like a wild idea to me. I know people do it, and I've heard a lot of, it's more often than not doesn't work because people's habits don't change. It's the mindset and the habits that are the problem, not the way the money is structured. So I will never use my house as collateral against anything. I think that's insane. But what I will use, because I know how credit cards work, I just haven't had the finances to be able to do the right thing with them, because I've used credit cards as a survival tool, not as a financial strategy tool. However, now that I have a much higher cash inflow with my new job and my new salary, I actually have wiggle room to do things correctly for the first time and not have to do things from survival mode. Finally, it's been 4 years in the making, folks. This has not been a smooth ride. What I have done is I am going to modify the velocity banking in a way that it works for me so that every month I'm going to focus on one debt to pay off. And then on the following month, I'm going to pay off my Capital One card that I'm routing all my expenses to. And then on the following month, again, just pick back up and just attack that debt. With that strategy, I will be able to pay off my Discover 2 card by the first paycheck in September. Once that's handled, I'm going to use the second paycheck in September to bring down the balance in my Capital One card. And then in October, I'm going to focus on paying off the car. The reason why I did this is because I am currently in a mindset where I'm trying to free up as much cash flow a month as I can, because that will accelerate my ability to pay off my debts. Once I free up that $2,000 in October that was going to Discover, I'm going to put that $2,000 plus $363.73 of the regular car payment combined, so that I will pay off my car note within 2.5 months. Then I'll pay down the Capital One again, and then I'm going to start attacking these bad boys here, upgrade number 1 and upgrade number 2. And if that looks a little different, it's because I was able to consolidate the remaining high interest credit card debt into a fixed rate loan with a fixed monthly payment. So this is going to be paid off by the end of this month. My credit union credit card, that's going to be paid off by the end of the month. It's just a small amount now, so I'll be able to knock that out. But my focus is going to be pay off Discover 2, pay off the car, snowball that $2,000 plus my car payment to give me almost $2,500 a month with that debt payment snowballed into it. And then I'm just going to attack my upgrade number 1, which is the lowest balance of the two. So it's in the 9,000s. This is 10,000. And I should be able to pay that off within about 3 to 4 months. I'm going to do a month on, a month off, a month on, a month off. That seems to be on paper the best strategic way for me to knock out my debt while adding to my savings and not have it go back into more debt and stop being in survival mode. And it's working because I've been able to pay off 3 debts already. So I was able to knock out Affirm number 1, my Care Credit, and the BMO card. So I know it works for me. And now I'm really excited to see how by the end of the year, how much I can knock out, and then how my savings I guess my sinking funds will increase and my investments will increase as I do this. And the reason why I'm doing this strategy is because, one, it's incredible. I'm 41 years old. I'll be 41 in 2 months, and I never heard about this strategy until like the last month. And finally looking into it, realized, oh, I can actually do this. This is doable. And a lot of people do this. The regular people of the world, we're not privy to these financial savvy techniques that people in wealth know, and they already know this. This is what they do all the time. So now that I have that hack, I'm going to be able to condense my debt payoff plan, increase my savings strategy, and improve my financial health all at the same time. And for me, the reason why I was looking for a strategy to condense those two things together, I'm turning 41 in about a month, okay? I'm not 20 anymore. I'm not 30. I no longer have an extra decade or 20 years to let my investments compound every month, year after year. So I'm having to play catch up with a lot of things in my 40s era, which is wild to me. But now that I have this structure and this strategy, I am 100% confident that I will be able to knock these out at a accelerated pace while increasing my savings investments and starting my family with IVF. This is an absolute game changer, and I'm so excited for this. Again, I have done about a month of research on this. I've watched hundreds of videos. I've watched the same couple videos dozens and dozens of times because it's such a unusual concept that we're not taught this, but wealthy people know how to play this game. So I would, give it a go. Maybe check out Fantastic's videos and see how I'm telling you, it's going to sound, it's not going to make a damn lick of sense when you watch it the first probably 50 times, and then it'll just click. But once I saw that strategy, I thought, okay, let me go ahead and restructure my finances, restructure my payoff plan. And it works. I've been able to pay off 3 cards with it. Almost every month I've been able to pay something off, starting since at the end of June, July, and then August now. So that is what I have to share with you now for my debt numbers and my debt strategy. I think currently I am at 76,000. You know what? Let's add these numbers up now in real time, and then we'll have a whole different starting point. We'll say at the end of every month. Let's do that. Let's do this. So 495.99 plus 9187.71 10 02308 plus 6894.08 626.14 6. I know the school loans are not accurate because these, unlike all the other debts, these suckers, they accrue interest daily. So every day this is going up, not just at the end of the month like credit cards. Every day this is going up. Anyway. 1071.25 08 2000 3400 19783.2. Okay, so our new starting point is going to be 75. I'm trying not to shake the camera. All right, so our new starting point as of midway point of August 2024 is $75,720.41. I am so excited to start this baseline over now that I have the income, I have the strategy, and I have a plan. I'm so excited to be updating this numbers for the remainder of the year and then the remainder of this loan or this debt payoff strategy. Now, I will share that I have been very on the fence about what to do with the zero interest, low balance debts I have. And I may change my strategy after I pay off the car. And I say that because with this new velocity technique that I'm using, the more cash flow you have, the faster you can pay things off and the faster you can build up your savings. So if I'm able to free up this $100, I don't know what this is gonna be yet for my US bank card, because I did a zero balance transfer from the Clark County credit card. So I rolled over that 2208. I don't know yet what the monthly payment will be, but I'm sure it's not going to be low. And even if it is low, it's designed to make sure that you miss your payoff, your due date, so you have to pay interest. So once the Discover's paid off, that $1,000 will roll over into $2,000 every paycheck. That will be, once I pay this off, this will be my debt snowball balance is $2,000. Once I pay off the car, it'll be $2,363.73. Now I'm debating, and feel free to drop comments below, I'm debating once I pay off the car, should I, with that $2,363, just knock these little balances out and then snowball those payments so that I can pay off these two debts faster? I'm feeling that that's what I want to do, because the end goal is to free up enough cash flow to pay the state off ASAP. There is no, well, hold on. I should say currently, I am not paying interest on this balance. However, this is government, this is state. So at any point in time, they can just decide you're going to start paying interest, you're not paying it off fast enough, whatever. I mean, they can really make up the rules at this point. I mean, we all know that they do that anyway. So my goal is I want to pay off the high monthly debts as fast as possible so that I can knock out both of these consolidation loans. And again, I know this is controversial, but I would, once I have all these debts gone, I would really like to get one more consolidation loan, pay off the state in full, so I don't have that hanging over my head literally every other day of my life when I think about it, or every time I sit down to do my numbers, it's in my face, it's in the back of my mind. I'm now more aware of it than I was before. It's always, always, always hanging over you. It's not a pleasant feeling. It's not a good space to be mentally. So I would imagine by the way that I am doing the math for the past week and going through every single debt in the payoff plan, these will all be gone. By the end of the year, Discover 2 is gone, US Bank is gone, Apple is gone, mattress is gone, car is gone, Bank CC is gone. So the only thing that I will have left to carry over into the new year will be School 1 and 2 and Upgrade 2, and then the state. Oh gosh, I'm so excited to do this. Yay, okay. But that is my strategies for now. Yep, that's it. All right, well, now that we have a whole new strategy, we have a whole new mindset and a whole new, cash flow, we're gonna go and see how this works. But that being said, I'm gonna go and end the video here. I really have to get going, and we will see the numbers after this paycheck next week. Well, by the end of the month, we'll tally all the numbers up. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.